Hi everyone, welcome back to Grandpa Mark's Hobbies and our build finale of our rusty Roadrunner diorama. This was a two build diorama. Both of them were the 1970 Plymouth Roadrunner kit. As you remember, my old one here got pretty much destroyed on the way in. The box was smashed, the top was bent down, the arm was bent out of it. And then Lennis sent me this one so that I could build a good one. And I decided, well, we'll go both ways on here and go old to new. So let me throw you up on the stand here and we'll go over this real quick. These kits were a lot of fun to build. First time I did a lot of things, diorama for one on the show. Never really did a base, never really did much of anything but just build the cars and show them. But this one, I really wanted to show off. I wanted to go old with a new and be able to make it to where they weren't just parked side by side. And I thought the best way to do that would be put a fence up between the two of them and let it rotate around. So you get to see the new one all by itself, and then comes around, you get to see the old one, and back and forth like that. So you get to take in the whole feel of a build. So I got myself a turntable, and after messing around with it for a while, I got it to spin. So I'm going to pop it off the turntable so I can tilt this thing around and show you all the stuff that we did here. Both cars are pretty much glued into place, so when I tilt this over, if everything falls off, we're all going to get a good laugh out of it. But for right now, let me just tell you how I kind of got this all set up this way. We'll start with the new kit. For the base is just a 9-inch by 9-inch frame. Pretty much fit these cars perfect. Looking at them straight down, you kind of seeing this, but I think that's the way the lens is filmed because they're pretty much straight on to the lines on here. My cement is nothing more than 5,000 grit sandpaper put down over the glass, or I took the glass off, put it down with Mod Podge on top of the paper or the backing for the thing, and that way it's not going to go anywhere. The kits are glued to it, so they're not going to go anywhere, and hopefully this thing will make it to a show here pretty soon. But like I said, I just glued this thing down, so it shouldn't go anywhere. I'm tilted up almost at a 45-degree angle right now. The frame is popsicle sticks, just super glued together with the brackets in the back, and I'll show you that. The signs, I printed all those out. Found these online, and the Grandpa Mark's Hobbies. This is our August group build, and what a perfect way to do a group build is to do both, the same kit twice and show it off brand spanking new and pretty much at its end of days here. The base on this side is pretty much, well, it's the sandpaper ran all the way around here because I wanted something for this to grip. And what I did is I used, and I don't use this a whole lot, but I used Mod Podge and a healthy dose of my cinnamon folk art matte, and this is the matte. And I also had some lighter brown than this that I used, and what I did is I mixed these two up in just a shot glass, and with a brush I just kind of pushed it around and made it to where it wasn't very even on there. It pretty much tried to self-level, which I was okay with that, but I was still able to get it to, I don't know, have a little bit of drift in it, so it's not just flat. But I liked the matte. When I left yesterday, or the day before yesterday, and went upstairs, this was glossy in here like you wouldn't believe, and I was like, geez. But you know what? It's flattened out real nice now, and I can't be happier with the way that ground came out. I got that all laid in, and then I took my pastels that I use a billion times for all kinds of stuff. And I thought, you know what? Let's give this a little bit of life. And this is before the car and the tree and everything. The fence was there, but nothing else. And I took my X-Acto knife and pulled this out of the case, the brown, and I just started shaving it across the top of this thing and just letting it sprinkle down, kind of like ground pepper, and just let it go all over the place. And I did that, and I thought, that looks good. So I did the same thing with the green and let it go all over the place. I did the desert tan, and then I came back, I did a little light green, and then I did a little bit of the brown again over top of all that. And that gave that a lot of life. Really did. It made it look like it's real dirt. And then I took, while it was all wet still, I took the car, I super glued the bricks, the foundation bricks, to the car. And then I set the whole car down in place right in that Mod Podge. So really, it's glued into the Mod Podge. So it's not ever going anywhere. The new car is just super glued. I super glued the tires to it. So hopefully the rubber and the tire and the super glue and it won't just fall apart. I put my tree in place and I glued it right to the front of the firewall. I wanted that angle coming up to where it's coming up out of the car on that angle, just to give it to where it pulls in a little bit towards the center. Doesn't hang over the edge on this side or this side, but it also kind of looks old and like it's ready to give it up too. And then I had the grandkids go out and they grabbed me 12 brown tree leaves. And they brought them down and we put them in a baggie and we all squished them up real fine, real fine. And I took some glue, just regular Elmer's glue, very lightly with a brush and brushed it on here and there. And then I sprinkled that on there and pushed it in with my thumb or my finger so it stuck to the glue. But I have some here. I put some on the top and around the sides in the engine bay. And then I just went around the whole base and just literally sprinkled that stuff down to where it's in the grass too. This grass I just picked up the other day off of Amazon. It's just diorama grass. It came the dark brown and the light brown, so I kind of mixed them all together and just haphazardly, okay, let's make it look a little bit natural. Put a bunch around the back corners, on both sides, the front corner in here, ran them back along the fence line some, and then up and around the front here. And then I wanted to add some sticks to this, and I'm thinking, how do I do sticks to where they look like sticks and they don't just look oversized? And what I ended up using was the stems off of the leaves. And where I ground them, they had little pieces that weren't a little bent here and little wings coming off them. So I glued them down in place where they would have fallen off the tree onto the car. Made sure I got some leaves inside the car. I got them on the dashboard glued on to where they're not going anywhere. And really, made it to where it looked as old as I could make it look. So that side was all pretty much done. I went upstairs, I came down, and happily this turned flat. It looks like dirt now. It's got a little bit of shine here and there. The tires, the flat tires sunk into the mud. It did with the foundation brick has sunk in there just a little bit. The tree's glued in nice and tight. It's not going anywhere now. And, I was good with that. Then the other day, I took and put a little bit of glue across the top here and just sprinkled that stuff on it and let it dry. And so that everything had its kind of layers of age into this thing. So it really came out great for two cars to be the same car, to look so much opposite, but look the same. It really worked out good. I took the Mirrors, I didn't put them on the old one, but I did drill the holes for where the mirror mounts would go. Put the mirrors on this one, the hood's on. I'm glad I painted that center section of the hood instead of trying to use that decal, because I know that would have wrinkled on me big time. The fence is super glued down to the base. It wobbles a little bit, but it's not going anywhere. Like I said, I ended up painting the center section of this semi-gloss black, and then just using these part of the decals. I cut them off, and I just eyeballed them into place. And I think that came out a lot better than it would have if I tried to get that to form over the top and this way. That's a lot of bending around to make the decals go, and I think I would have lost the rib in the back here, and so I'm just happy with the way that came out. Again, the bottom side, I did paint where the insulation went. The engine's completely detailed out on this, as much as I could get on this Mopar. I really, really like the engine on this car. The whole car was really one of my favorite builds, I think, of all times. It was a low part count. It only had 70-some parts in it. Easy to build. It fit together just like a glove. No problems whatsoever. But it went well. So I don't want to bore you with any more here. I want to thank everybody for following along with my build. You see, I don't have any of my people here today because we're going to dedicate this to Jake. He moved on the other day, and we're going to miss him around the shop. But he's going to stay with this build. But with that, we'll start our music video. I'll let you go. Y'all have a great day and a better tomorrow. And thank you very much for watching.